All right. Hey, Coach, great to see you. Everybody's well at your house?
All good. How about yourself, Coach?
We're getting by. We're trying to stay healthy and do our part. So, hey, thanks for joining me today. I'm not sure what they're going to call this segment, whether it's connecting with coaches or coffee with coaches. I don't know, but
I think we'll infringe.
glad we had a little chance to connect today. So
Awesome.
I got a couple questions to ask you that we can send out to Marauder Nation. This is I believe, one of six of a series of other coaches connecting with other coaches. So there's been a couple of questions that have posed to me that I'm supposed to ask you. So if you don't mind, we're going to spend a couple minutes and let Marauder Nation have a little insight into what Stef Ptaszek does the best. So first off, can we talk about team culture, that kind of stuff first? Is there any locker room feel-good stories that you've had over your career that are worth sharing, that would give us some insight as to, some behind-the-scenes stuff?
There's probably billions, as you know. One of my personal favorites is one of our D linemen. It's senior now, so he's been doing it for a couple of years. Does a wonderful Scottish accent, and as soon as up into a visitor's stadium, he goes into the William Wallace Braveheart speech just before they go to war. And as we're pulling in, they may take your life, they can never take your freedom. And at the bus we go. You can't start a game without that. And Tyler, he got injured in our semifinal, but we made sure he traveled with us to the two road games after that. And he now does it at banquets. And Braveheart and Mel Gibson, it's a classic.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are special moments, eh?
No doubt.
That's fantastic. Hey, tell me, when your student athletes are coming in, can you kind of give me like a three things that you're looking for, that when they leave, it would be a success for you, that you've had an impact on their time at Mac?
Oh, for sure. I'm going to use my screensaver here to talk it a bit, but football is unique. I think all varsity sports, you get a piece of this, but I think the physical nature of football and the fact that if 12 guys break the huddle and one guy's in left field, all 12 fail. And so it's it's such a team sport. The lessons you get are unique. And the thing that I hope that every student athlete walks away from in our department is the only way to reach your full potential in this world is to surround yourself with people that you believe in and that also believe in you. And in that environment, there's just so much more than you can do than when you're just an island. Every year before we go on a playoff run, we put something in the locker room that they have to sign their name and write one word just to give you a sense of it. And for our 2011 national championship, and some of our student athletes aren't the most mature in the world. And so as I go to the very top of the screen here, Jared Jones, one word that McMaster football means to him is swag.
Swag.
But the number one word that goes on this type of, we do banners, and in this case we did a trophy stand. Family is it, life, everything. The one that chokes me up is down in the left-hand corner where my starting linebacker, Ram Isho, writes dad, and that's his father passed away from cancer. And only way to move mountains is to surround yourself with good people. And if my hope is when a job starts to feel like your McMaster locker room, well, that's when that job should become a career. And when a relationship starts to feel like your relationships felt in a locker room, that's when maybe that relationship should be long-term. And if that's the only thing you learn in your 4 or 5 years at McMaster, I think it's time really well spent.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's no secret to see why you've got such a win percentage over the years, and you've had such an impact on so many lives down the stretch. I guess this question is a little bit more towards the time. If there's one thing that you've kind of had to adjust since we've been in isolation, that's had a positive effect on the way you do things, and maybe even carry over into life after the lid is lifted off all this? What would be one thing that you say you had to probably adjust the most?
I love listening to the governor of New York, Governor Cuomo. The other day, he was just saying, every day, even when I'm busy, I ask my daughter, hey, how you doing? And she says, fine. And that's good for me, and I'm out the door. But in this time, it's you poke more, and you go beyond that initial surface, and he's learning things about his family that he never knew. And when grandma or his mom asks to come for a lunch, and he has to pull out and say, no, I'm sorry, next time. And he's like, well, there's no next time, it's now. And so Coach Grant, our offensive coordinator, he uses the term win, and each letter is what's important now. And I going beyond the surface in all my life and family, and not accepting those answers and moving on to the next firefighting disaster has been fun. And so I'm not going to forget that. And that was his conclusion. Even when I get busy again, I'm going to force those answers out, and I'm going to stay as engaged as I can with everything that's important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's and it's even more difficult right now to form those connections when, you know, it's more work, right? And so, yeah, it's but it really, really important. Hey, in a day of your life, in season, what's the best part of it?
Oh, you know what? It's a miracle when you think of 100 guys walking out onto a field every night, and they have checked all the boxes so they can put the rest of their worlds behind them and focus on this goofy task at hand. 100 men fixated on getting better at football, and some days this guy's dragging and that guy's dragging, and you pull them up, and everybody busts their butt for 2 hours a day. It's like nothing I've ever seen in any other area of my life, and I miss it. Getting it on the field. Some days I don't want to be there. I think this whole crazy world we're in makes me understand what the difference is between privilege and right. Practicing in the rain is a privilege. Getting up at 6 a.m. to go lift weights is a privilege, all of which is worth fighting for, and I miss them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great thing. I know other coaches have talked a lot, and we've tried to incorporate as well, as something, the difference between need to and get to, or need to and want to. You know, I need to go lift, or I get to go lift. And it's a whole different mindset especially when you can see it collectively. So that's awesome. Hey, I know you've been in football, probably one of the only to win a Vanier Cup as an athlete, as an offensive coordinator, and as a head coach. So football has been, I would say, your life, or a major portion of it. But if you were given the option, what other sport do you think you would be interested in coaching, and why?
Well, it couldn't be volleyball. I'm not smart or enough to do that. But
I think not.
If I could take a crack at hockey, I would. I feel like all my kids play a little minor league hockey, and I think the goal to get to the NHL is not the goal. And I think as a coach at all levels, your number one goal is to grow the self-esteem of everyone in your locker room. And for those little hockey players to play a role, whatever it is, make sure when they do a good job, you pump them up in front of their teammates, in front of their coaches. And all I want when my kid comes home from the locker room is sweaty and had a good workout and feels better about themselves in this world. And I feel like in hockey, the craziness, sometimes that basic reality is lost, and I would love to take a shot at it.
That's awesome. Level, like minor Adam, or would you like to like junior A, or where you're thinking like minor league stuff?
You got that right. I'm going to take a bloody nose from all the parents and just try to battle through that and move the crazy hockey world a little bit from where it is.
That's awesome. Hey, I know you touched a little bit on it about, you know, being the best part of your day, but what do you miss the most about coaching right now?
We've talked about this one. When you're at home and you give an order, there's only one person in this household that will listen to it and not question or ask anything about it, and that's my dog.
Truth.
So
You speak the truth.
back in the football offices, there's a few student athletes, when you tell them something, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt and they're going. I do miss those kids. So
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we all miss our student athletes, that's for sure. So that's there's no doubt about that. Hey, we're in a pretty tough time right now, and they say that these tough times really reveal character, true character. What do you think there's like one thing that you've learned about yourself during this time?
Wow. I think when you're passionate about something, like really passionate, you work your butt off and the days are long and you hit the pillow and you're exhausted, but somehow the months and the years just fly by.
Yeah.
So this lockdown has not flown by.
No.
And so I think I've realized football gives to me way more than I give to it, and I need it more than it needs me.
Oh, yeah.
And I try to make sure that we find stuff every day that we're going to be passionate about, and pushes us. You get to the end of a 30-year career and you realize you didn't work one day your entire life. I want to get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully soon. Hopefully this is all behind us at some point. I know, following you on social media, that you've been very active in some of your outreach projects with some other coaches around the country. Can you tell me a little bit about your coaches' cause?
For sure. I'm going to screen share here in a sec and give you one. And where am I going here? Sorry. My coach's cause is a Blake Nill, head coach of the UBC Thunderbirds project, and the youth sport coaches around the country have rallied. We want to show our nation that when you play football in this country, you learn lots more than just X's and O's. And to be a good team and do your part, we want to do our part for our nation in this difficult time. And so what we're trying to do is, and hopefully you can see this little goofy graphic.
Yep.
The National Food Bank has set up a webpage for us. If you've had a coach that's made a difference in your life, you can make a donation, $10. In the first week, and it hasn't quite been a full week yet, we've had over 200 people give to the National Food Bank, and we've raised $20,000.
That's awesome.
We're going for the whole month of May, and we're trying to make as much money for our National Food Bank. And given the times, I hope that's going to make a bit of a difference. And I think. And
so, Coach, do they donate locally? People can donate locally to their food bank, or is there a national food bank?
This link is to the national, and we've it's simple because we wanted to engage football coaches and football kids across the country. Have a one-stop point. I know that people are very passionate about some of our local options and want to deter from that. But if you haven't given and you want to do something, it's the Marauder Nation has been awesome. The number of people that I've reached out to and done some things, it's been great. Eleanor Gow, who's one of our biggest basketball players, Eleanor's on the website. She's made a donation. And
I miss Eleanor and Neil.
Yeah, me too.
We got to get back to D-back just so we can see Eleanor and Neil.
And truthfully, the fun part for me is this is actually something we want to go viral, and this is actually we want people to take action, not just stay at home and do nothing. And so it's therapeutic on a lot of levels. That's
awesome. I've also seen some videos about you doing some technical work with some young up-and-comers. Now, I'm pretty good with the ball behind me and flicking it off my hands all right, but I'm not sure about catching it all the time. See, we're not allowed to catch it. So can you teach me how to catch maybe a little football here?
There you go.
Teach me how to catch a football?
There you go. 100%. I'm screen sharing. What I'm going to do, David, is I'm going to ask you to look at a series of pictures and tell me what the most important thing about catching is. And let me get back here. Share. You have my screen?
I got you.
So look at this one.
Who is that guy?
Terrence Tolliver. Great kid.
Okay. Terrence Tolliver. Yeah, he's looking at the ball pretty good.
This one is.
I know that guy. That's Andy Fantus from Chatham, Ontario.
Got
He's
that
looking
right.
at the ball pretty good.
I think that's a Von Swart back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Those old school gloves, Coach.
Yeah.
There's TT again. Coach Behe.
That's John Behe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luke Tasker.
One of the greatest.
Big Fantus again.
Yeah.
And then, in my mind, the greatest of all time.
Gary Rice.
Yeah, you got that right. What's the same in all of these pictures?
Well, yeah, they got real good hands. You can see that. But the thing that catches my opinion, or my eye, is their eyes, especially Jerry. He's staring right at that thing.
You got that right. So being able to catch that damn thing, it has nothing to do with hands or anything else. It's see the ball. And I got 3 Hall of Fame tie cats to show you what that's supposed to look like and how you're supposed to finish a catch.
All right, let me see.
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got him here?
I do.
So Speedy B, watch their eyes finish the catch. And as a coach, it, the biggest mistake you can make is when the ball is in their hands and they're looking at you, the quarterback. They got lucky because they didn't see it all the way in.
Right.
So create a receiver. It's finishing this catch. And my boys, they want to piss me off. They catch things and they look at me with I just say, Dad, I'm not doing it right. And you beat it into them. If it's a high ball, see how their face, looking at you, it's looking up in the sky.
Yeah.
And
nice.
That one, but see the ball, chin up in the air. I got one more set when they're going down low. And you can learn this at any age. You catch a pencil in my household, you better look it in. And again, eyes are not on the quarterback. They always finish on the ball.
Right. If you can see it, you can catch it.
That's it. That's it. Woo. He's battling a little bit.
Yeah, a little balance on that one, but so it's eye work, then hand work.
Yeah, and gradually you introduce some speed to it and some movement, and before you know it, you'll have some receivers in the household. I think you've got
awesome.
Players in your.
I don't have to catch these very much, but I can keep my eye on the ball. Hey, Coach, thanks for taking some time today to share with us. We appreciate it. I wish you and your family well. Stay safe, stay healthy. I look forward to getting back into the D-back when all this is behind us.
Go, Matt, go.
Take care of you.
Thank you. You too.